Jeez, it took forever to get one of these countdowns finished. Ah yes, 2014. What a great year it has been. Sure, it had its ups and it's had its downs, but if there's one thing for certain that anyone can agree, it had a lot of good games. Was it as great as 2013 or even greater? Well, let us find out. 2014's roster of games was certainly a good one, each game having its own variety of fun to the mix. And in this video, I'm going to be exposing my love and experiences of these games from 10 to 1 as always. Now let us begin.
Hello, salute, sentier.
This is a game that to this day is still in development, yet still proves to be a fun game despite being unfinished. Starbound is an early access game that you can get on Steam, with similarities to Terraria in that it's a survival sandbox game. I don't know why, but this game just interested me. I guess it's because of its sci-fi aspect. The important thing about Starbound is its concept in general. You start off by picking one of 6 species, and after that you're thrown into a random planet alongside a ship, and it's up to you to explore the universe as you mine for resources and come across creatures of any kind. Me, this game is great at being immersive. Just what will you do when you're all alone in a vast universe filled with galaxies and planets? You're definitely going to explore and know more of its secrets, and as time passes, you gain more advanced items to unfold the many secrets the universe has in store, while simultaneously defending yourself from the many dangers of the cosmos, from hazardous landscapes to dangerous creatures. The very universe you explore itself is also filled with so much variety. Many of these planets that you explore can be very healthy and normal, teeming with a huge variety of flora and fauna, much like our planet. Others can be barren wastelands with no hope of life ever existing, but are chock full of raw, valuable resources to harvest. And then there are planets that are filled with life, but contain extreme temperatures and high levels of radiation that you can't go alone without some special equipment. The soundtrack is also very beautiful. It has an atmospheric tone that fills my mind with calmness. I'll guarantee that this soundtrack will make you relax as you listen to its use of piano and other instruments. Plus, the mods you can put into this game are amazing. Lots of awesome devotion was put into this game. I especially like the cute raptor race that are the Avalis and the Star Mount mod, which allows you to add creature mounts into the game. My only problem with this game is that it can get very repetitive after a while, and since this is a game that is still in development, that means that the game is constantly updating, and as it updates, mods that you use become outdated and no longer usable. It even causes the game to crash. Still, it's a great game, and I highly recommend you buying it if you want to get immersed into the universe.
Hello, salute, sentier.
In 2013, I played games that had to do with dinosaurs, and in 2014, I played games that had to do more with dragons. Get used to it, cause you're gonna be seeing that a lot. Starring with... Ladies and gentlemen, Divinity Dragon Commander. I'm not gonna lie, this game's concept is freaking badass. I mean, once you see and read that title, you know this game is destined for greatness. The story is that a king named Sigar brought the land of Rivellon together and forged an empire after a time of war. He would then get married and have many sons and daughters, including one special son who is part human and part dragon. Unfortunately, peace wasn't for long, for soon enough the king was murdered by his own sons and daughters, and war returned under new heights. This time, Rivellon has technology by its side. The round drenched into chaos and bloodshed, the wizard Maxos turned his attention to the one person who would never betray Sigurd, the half-dragon prince. And now it is up to you, the Dragon Commander, to secure peace into Revlon once more and defeat your evil siblings. The game plays as an RTS in which you amass your armies and fight for glorious salvation, and when the time is right, you can turn into a fire-breathing dragon and prepare for a blitzkrieg, a dragon with a freaking jetpack nonetheless. If you don't find that completely awesome, then I don't know what is. And while you are not fighting, you will be talking to your generals, politicians, mentor, and wife. This game is all about careful planning and strategy, for each decision is key to your empire's fate, whether it be your glorious victory or your biggest downfall. And you yourself have to upgrade your army if you want to achieve salvation, whether buying Zeppelin units for your army or having your dragon learn moves such as Pillar of Flame and Eye of the Patriarch. Oh yeah, this game seems incredible, badass, and immersive, so why isn't it any higher on the list? Simple. This game has a serious habit of crashing! And I'm not even the only one who has that problem. Now, I could have put the game a bit higher on the list if it weren't for all the crashing, but since it does always happen, I'm afraid I can't put it anywhere higher than number 8. Oh well, it's still a good game nonetheless.
Hello, salute, sentier.
Now, let's see, there's a cool game that has to do with dragons. Come on, there's gotta be around here somewhere. This one has a cool name. I wonder how it looks and turns out to be. And boy, was that the strangest game I ever played in 2014. At number 8, we have Drakengard 3, and yeah, it's another game with dragons, but let me tell you, I got this game for my birthday, and boy was it something. This game is a cake mixture of many things. It's dark, bloody, and pretty damn bizarre occasionally, but what else does this game have in this mix of cake batter? Oh yeah, a story. In typical fantasy fashion, there was once a time of war and bloodshed, until 5 goddesses known as the Intoners descended down the heavens and brought peace and prosperity throughout all the land. Until this bitch named Zero and her dragon Michael kill off the narrator and go on a rampage to kill the Intoners. Unfortunately, things don't go out as planned. Zero gets severely injured, Michael gets killed, and they are forced to retreat into a faraway place, where Michael is reincarnated into a new dragon named Mikhail, and now it is up to them to kill the Intoners once and for all and save the world. Now, one problem people seem to have at first is the story, and I understand why. It's hard to like a story when your main character is a psychopath that kills people, and that every person you're partnered with is either just as insane as you or even more, or just doesn't seem to care. But trust me, there will be an important reason on why our main character is doing all of this. It just won't be revealed until later on the story, but let's just say it's pretty sad and very interesting. Story aside, this game is pretty enjoyable. It's basically a 3D platforming hack and slash game in which you run and kill your way through countless amounts of soldiers, while occasionally riding on the back of your dragon Mikhail. Basically Dynasty Warriors mixed Panzer Dragoon. And throughout this fast-paced hack and slash game, you'll be nabbing currency, new weapons to play with, and getting disciples to fight on your behalf. However, this game is not perfect. Not even close. There's a reason why not many people like this game, to which I completely understand once again. For one thing, the graphics aren't that very good. Most of it just looks like stale bread. And the gameplay, while fun, is rather repetitive. Just move straight on forward and kill everything that gets in your way until the locked door opens for you to progress forward, rinse, and repeat. However, nothing takes the cake more than Branch Frickin' D, the final chapter, in which you cannot access until you get every weapon in the game. Every single weapon! This is what halted my entire experience with this game. It just ruined it for me. And the final boss, which I haven't got to yet, but let's just say I heard some pretty nasty things about it. So yeah, Drakengard 3 has flaws, but I still like it nonetheless.
Hello, salute, sentier.
Oh Yeah, it's Hyrule Warriors time, an epic and over-the-top hack-and-slash game that's a well-blended mix of Legend of Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. Let's just say this is the first true Dynasty Warriors game I've ever played. And what do I think of the series in general now that I played this game? Well, let's just find out. The story of Hyrule Warriors begins with Princess Zelda having horrible nightmares of Hyrule being destroyed, so her servant Impa insists on finding the hero of time to secure harmony, and whoop-de-doo, he's right outside. Suddenly, an evil army of monsters attack Hyrule, who are all being controlled by this evil girl named Sia, and now it's up to Link and his friends to save Hyrule from a pending doom. May I mention this Sia character is madly in love with Link? That's the basic juice of the whole story. There's not much to it, at least at first, but for what this game lacks in story, it makes up for, well, everything else. Hyrule Warriors is a celebration of all things Legend of Zelda, with its ginormous amount of references to older Zelda games, and let's just say, they went all out with a bang. We get to see some truly hilarious and over-the-top things, like seeing the Majora's Mask Moon pummel a dragon to the ground, or playing as Sant and watching as he turns big and flanks an entire army. It's all over the place. Finally, there's the gameplay, and hot diggity dog is it over the top. You are a one-man army who annihilates everything that gets in your way as one big unstoppable killing machine in your conquest for salvation. Combat revolves around chaining combos together to create stronger attacks and one super attack to decimate your foes. And throughout the journey, you gain new stuff to play with, and trust me, there's lots of new stuff to enjoy. However, being the one-man army that you are, your allies are, well, pretty damn stupid. They're always needing your assistance from whenever they get overrun by the enemy, which can get rather annoying at times. And since this is the first Dynasty Warriors game I ever played, I admittedly got tired after a while. Still, I'm looking forward to what this game and the series it was based on has in store. It had the right amount of fan service for the Zelda lovers to enjoy, and it had the epic and over-the-top action that the Dynasty Warriors fans came to love.
Hello, salute, sentiero.
Hey look, Divinity II. Bet you didn't saw me put in another game from the same series now, did ya? Now, I got this game at Steam for a price of $20, and the story goes like this. I was playing Divinity Dragon Commander, I was having fun, yet I was still very disappointed with the constant crashings. Naturally, I wanted to find more games with dragons to satisfy my needs. Now, when I first saw this game, I thought it was an MMORPG, and if you see my top 12 games I played in 2013, you know I have a small distaste for MMORPGs. But when I saw this game on Steam as Divinity II Developer's Cut, I was pretty interested, so I eventually bought the game and had fun with it. The story is this. There's this evil dude named Damien the Damned One who wants to destroy the world, and you have to kill him. Well, not just that. Basically, you are a newly recruited dragon slayer who is tasked on slaying a dragon, but instead of killing a dragon, you become one. Long story short, you come across this dragon knight who you were supposed to kill, and she ends up turning you into a dragon knight. Now being part human and part dragon, it's up to you to explore Revlon, find the truth about the dragon knights, defeat Damien the Damned One, all that typical fantasy stuff. The gameplay is a 3D platforming RPG, much like almost any other 3D RPG. You roam around a vast land, get weapons and armor, fight hordes of monsters, level up and upgrade your perks, all that good stuff. Not to mention you have one of many classes to choose from a warrior who goes up in personal against his foes, to a mage who casts spells from a distance, to a priest who summons creatures to fight on his behalf. Like in the last game, you have the ability to turn into a dragon, but you're not equipped with that fancy jetpack. Dragon gameplay revolves around aerial combat as you torch down giant towers and flying foes, which is very fun to play despite you not playing as often. Most of all, the game has a heavy emphasis on story and dialogue, which I don't mind. In fact, in the case of this game, I really like it. I love fantasy stories, and the fact that this game is not an MMORPG means I can have it all to myself. And personally, I love being alone in games like this. To have this game all to myself and be immersed into its story and character without any annoying lag, requirements, and payment. But why isn't it higher on the list? Simple. There's just another game that has the same concept as Divinity II and does it even better.
Hello, salute, sentiero.
This is a game that is just so epic, so immersive, and so popular, at least for its time, that I don't even know where to start. So I'm just gonna show you my love for this game in the form of an animated segment. Enjoy! Tamriel, or Tazukan in the Dragon's Tongue, a land of beauty, wonder, and mystery, and so begins the tale to tell of one of Tamriel's many lands, Skyrim. You are a thief being taken to the town of Helgen to be executed by the Empire for an unknown crime. It is here that you get to customize your character, and so I chose this. Right before they chop off your head a new one, the very town of Helgen gets attacked by a dragon. Alduin, firstborn of Akatosh, the dragon god of time, has returned to destroy Tamriel with a new army of dragons. As Alduin burns Helgen to the ground with his flames, you escape from the onslaught while fighting thugs and giant spiders along the way. You head to Whiterun to warn the king about Alduin's return, and soon enough you are told that another dragon is attacking, so you run to the watchtower where the creature was sawn. After you slayed the beast, a strange aura envelops around your body, and suddenly you know one word: Force. It is here on out that you find out that you are what they fear. In their tongue is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn, a warrior who can literally slay dragons, steal their souls, and use their powers for your own. This marks the beginning of an epic quest where you help people with their problems, slay dragons with your voice, and explore the realm of Skyrim. Not to mention all the cool-ass mods you can put on the game to make the journey a lot more easier, like this one, which turns me into a dragon. Success! So get out there and show that Alduin who's boss. Force Rota!
Hello? Salute? Sentier?
Why did I not get this game back in 2013? Oh man! Team Fortress 2! I'm just gonna say this. This is my favorite, the best, most addicting first-person shooter I have ever played in my life. I have played FPSs with dinosaurs, I have played FPSs with monsters, but never in my life have I played another game that's as colorful and unique as TF2. Guys at Valve truly have some supreme thinking skills right up their thick skulls. Unlike other companies that blatantly recycle the same used underwear that we're just getting tired of, Valve felt like they actually had a heart and soul when developing this game, creating the only first-person shooter that has ever made me smile and laugh. Each of the 9 oddball mercenaries that you take control of are all completely hilarious, but all in their own unique way. Each character has its own personality and trait that makes them stand out. Just look at these characters. We have a cocky-as-hell speedster, a heavy weapon Soviet rambler, a polite Texan engineer, a drunk-ass black Scottish bombardier, a French usurper, an Australian manhunter, a psychotic American veteran, a crazy Nazi scientist, and a demented psychotic pyromaniac. Each of these classes have their own unique strategy, strengths, and weaknesses that make them useful in a variety of ways in the battlefield. My favorite class is definitely the Pyro. To me, and many others, he's the flames of disaster of the TF2 world. Not only can he turn his foes into a pile of dust, but he can also use his air blast to deflect almost anything that is not a bullet and extinguish his compadres with no needed effort. He's an insane, faceless flame wielder that in the end just wants to give you a hug. Then there's the main concept of Team Fortress 2, teamwork. It's all about working together with your fellow compadres. Using the skills of your favorite class, you can fight off your foes and ensure victory to the team. Most of all, this game is just so freaking hilarious. And that's pretty much why I love this game so much. It keeps me entertained with its fun gameplay, but also makes me smile and laughter, whether it be from the quotes each of the characters yammer out of their cynical mouth, or the amazing fan devotion. What can I say? It's one of the greats in video game FPSs. Red Ben at ValveSoftware.com. And my favorite class is the Pyro.
Hello, salute, sentiero.
Oh yes, yes, yes! It's Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I love this game. I love it more than X and Y. It might just seem like a simple remake, but once you start playing this game, you get to see an awesome, well-blended mix of your nostalgia and the new stuff from Gen 6. Have a larger story, the same yet still awesome graphics that are as great as newly bought bread, and even more Mega Evolutions, which are awesome by the way. Mega Sceptile just has that kick-ass Dragonic don't mess with me pose. Mega Metagross's heavy-ass arms transform into kick-ass Mega Arms. Groudon and Kyogre, while they technically don't have Mega forms, their primal reverses are still wicked cool to look at. And Mega Rayquaza? I don't know about you, but I think Awful McFawfulson's mind literally exploded after hearing its brokenness. What a year too! Gen 3 was by far the most nostalgic generation. I'm talking about those movies I used to watch as a kid. Jirachi Wishmaker, Destiny Deoxys, and Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Oh, how I love you guys. So, catching Pokemons, beating gyms, defeating crime organizations, blah blah blah, what else do we have? Well, a more expansive story among other things, that's for sure. The game centers around Mega Evolutions and how they came to be, which I really love. It makes the Mega Evolutions a lot more interesting, which brings us to the Delta arc. This is, without a doubt, a perfect improvement over X and Y's abysmal post-game. As a matter of fact, it has everything I, along with other people, expected in both a sequel to X and Y and a remake to Ruby and Sapphire should have. It keeps the core features of both games, improves the flaws of the previous game, and adds nuances for the fans to enjoy, creating a fresh yet familiar Pokemon game that, honestly, is all I could ever ask in a remake of Gen 3. I mean, is there anything else I can say that hasn't already been said? As previously mentioned, I love this game more than X and Y, and I've been creating an awesome team ever since. And that's by far the best thing about any Pokemon game, the journey as a whole. You start off as just a simple kid who just became a Pokemon trainer, but look at you now, a champion with a team of badasses that in the end, you've grown so fondly over with all the memories you had. From catching them for the first time, watching as they grow and evolve, exploring the world, beating the gyms, meeting various characters, and eventually becoming the very best like no one ever was. What can I say? The bond between man and super powerful mutant animal has never been this close. And to thinking that this was even the best RPG of 2014. Oh, think again.
Hello, salute, sentiero.
Ladies and gentlemen, at number 2 we have Fire Emblem Awakening. Without a doubt the best RPG I ever played in 2014. And this was a game I had very low expectations on, but boy was it worth getting this game. Turning a bunch of characters whom I only knew because of Smash into one of the most addicting RPGs of last year, and the perfect Fire Emblem game to start out with. You are the avatar, to whom you get to customize, and you start off your journey by waking up on a grassy field. You have no memory of who you once were or where you came from. You're founded by a lord named Kron, the leader of a small army of peacekeepers known as the Shepherds, and so you join that army and help fight off the many empires that have waged war on your country in hopes of making peace. As time passes, you gain more members and support for your army, and at the same time finding out that strange occurrences have been going on recently. Mysterious children from the futures have been appearing into the present, shadowy eldritch abominations known as Risen have been also appearing and causing trouble, and most of all, Grima, a giant evil fell dragon from the future who wants to plunge the world in darkness! Ahem! The gameplay is similar to that of a board game. It's basically a strategy RPG in which you pick your favorite characters that you want to fight with and plan the strategies that you see fit and hopefully make the right choices to lead your troops into battle and achieve victory. However, when facing an enemy, you don't actually have a set of moves that you use your troops to attack with. Instead, you watch as your troops fight. That I find to be a very interesting feature that I've never seen in any other RPG. Like any other RPG, you pick up various items, both normal and special, level up and buff up your stats, unlock new chapters and paralogs, and most of all, casual mode. In the original Fire Emblem games, when your character dies, it dies forever, but with this mode you can keep your favorite characters for as long as you want, even after they're defeated. Thank God I don't have to worry of any of my characters permanently dying. And as simple as all of that sounds, the gameplay is surprisingly very fun and pretty damn addicting on my ad. Each of the characters that you command have their own classes with their own stats and strategies that, like in TF2, makes them all useful in a variety of ways. We have tacticians, lords, mages, myrmidons, knights, great knights, pegasus knights, wyvern riders, manicates, togwills, and so many others. But seriously, these characters, these freaking characters, they're all extremely likable, have their own unique personalities, each have a past of their own that makes them sympathizable, and are just plain lovable. You care for these characters, and you want to help them develop, grow stronger, and achieve their goals. There's just so many of these characters, and yet I love them so much, and I can't exactly talk about all of them unlike in TF2. But I'll give you a few examples of characters that I like. Noe's freaking adorable for a little girl who's actually 1,000 years old. Firen is pretty damn funny. Laku's a freaking badass, but my favorite character is Churchy. She's the Khaleesi of Fire Emblem, everyone. I freaking adore this character from the moment I had her. She just makes me smile with every time I see her, and I especially like her past. She was a former vassal of Viron's country, who gained her dragon wyvern mount named Minerva by surviving a blast from her fire breath and defeating it all when she was 9 years old. Christ, that's some hardcore bravery right there, and that strength of hers shows. So far, she's the strongest member of my team. Not only does she hit hard like a Panzer Dragoon, but she's also an incredibly good dodger, capable of avoiding several arrow and magic attacks. She's that powerful, let alone a woman who rides on a freaking dragon wyvern. I also like her personality. Throughout various conversations, she's shown to be a very sweet and kind-hearted person, and it's often very silly at times. I especially like her conversations with Noe. It's freaking cute. She also has a very strong bond with her wyvern Minerva, as she is capable of understanding whatever she says. But if you are on the opposing side, boy will your mind be filled with fear. According to the wiki, she's described to be the scariest member of the team, for she loves to scare her foes by implying that she will feed them to her wyvern, and often smiles at their demise, saying things like, "It has been a pleasure," or "Who are you?" Hell, she was the woman to whom I had the Avatar marry. I could just go on and why I love this game and this character so much, not to mention its awesome soundtrack, but in the end, I'll say this. Fire Emblem, once a franchise that I didn't care about, became the greatest, most totally awesome RPG of 2014. And after playing this game, I'm definitely excited for the upcoming Fire Emblem Fates. Okay everyone, the best game of 2014 is just up ahead. You all know what that means. It's time for some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions number 1, Digimon All-Star Rumble. I really enjoyed Digimon Rumble Arena 2, so when I first heard of this game while it was being developed, I was pretty excited for it. But when I got this game, oh man, what a letdown. I mean, don't get me wrong or anything, the game isn't horrible, but it was just so disappointing. I was thinking of making a review of this game in order to express my disappointment, but perhaps some other time. Honorable mentions number 2, Abadox, a 2D shoot-'em-up game for the NES. This game was pretty fun for a little bit, but then suddenly I just stopped playing after I got stuck on one point. Yeah, I have a habit of stop playing games and getting distracted on other games when I get stuck at one point. Then again, I wasn't interested in playing any other NES and SNES games at that time. Honorable mentions number 3, Retro Arcade Challenge 2, also known as Game Center CX Arino no Chasenju 2. Let me tell you all a little story. I was playing Super Mario Crossover, and as I was playing, I was pretty interested in knowing about this demon character you get to play as, so I did some research and I found out about this game's existence. Unfortunately, it was from Japan only, but who cares, I can still get it on Amazon. The game was pretty great, but then I got to the mystery type game, First of all, this game is in Japanese, and I had to use an English playthrough on YouTube, looking back and forth between the DS and the computer. It was long, tedious, and it just made me stop. And it's a shame too, because this game has a whole throwback to classic arcade games like Mario, Galaga, and Pac-Man among others. Honorable mentions number 4, Solatan Robo. This is a game that I heard of because of Hero of Tomorrow. It's a 3D platforming RPG-ish game with heavy emphasis on dialogue, missions, and exploration. The fun thing about this game is that you can grab the enemies and throw the shit out of them like in games like Mario 2, Mischief Makers, and Klonoa. By the time I got Pokemon Omega Ruby, I stopped playing this game, though I have been playing small doses of it this year. But seriously, get this game. It's so creative and amazing. And fun fact, if you care or not, this game was from the same creators of the anime .hack, particularly the games. Hell, the mag that the main character pilots is referred to as the .hack. How cool is that? Honorable mentions number 5, Lost World and Warpath Jurassic Park for the PlayStation 1. There was once a time when I really wanted the original PS1 after seeing Cadecris and Some Call Me Johnny's review of that console, and so I got one of my own. But other than getting another copy of Primal Rage, the only PS1 games I got were 2 Jurassic Park games, and they were fun for a little while, but like always I stopped playing. Though I did got Spyro 2 recently this year, but that's all there is to my PS1 collection. Nowadays I'd rather watch Jurassic World than playing these games. Honorable mentions number 6, Lair. I've heard some things about this game, that it was disappointing, it was generic, the controls were terrible, the graphics were horrible. But I was still interested on getting this game because, well, it had dragons. And so I got this game, and actually, to be fair, the game was actually pretty damn fun. It wasn't as bad as people let out to be. The controls were smooth and easy to get accustomed to. Burning things down to the ground as a man who rides a freaking dragon was very fun and enjoyable, though there was still a few flaws that were very noticeable as people claim. The story was very generic. There were times where I had no idea where I am and where my target is. And if you thought Drakengard 3 graphics were bad, oh man, this game's graphics about 10 rotten breads. Oh well, it was still a fun game. Finally, honorable mentions number 7, Tekken Tag Tournament 2. This is the first Tekken game I ever played, and it was really fun for a while. The gameplay was fun and smooth, and the combat and other features were pretty cool too. It could have made it at least number 10 on the list, but there is a fighting game that topples this one down in shame, if I can't make it any more obvious. And here's a handful of games that I wanted to play last year, but I didn't because I didn't have the time and money and I was too distracted on other games. Shovel Knight, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Freedom Planet, Skylanders Trap Team, Gargoyles Quest 2, and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Hopefully I'll be getting and playing them all this year. And now, let's recap. Number 10, Starbound. Number 9, Divinity Dragon Commander. Number 8, Drakengard 3. Number 7, Hyrule Warriors. Number 6, Divinity II. Number 5, Skyrim. Number 4, Team Fortress 2. Number 3, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And number 2, Fire Emblem Awakening. This one's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's Smash! Ah yes, Super Smash Bros. 4. How could I not put it on number 1? I mean, honestly, I could have mentioned that Smash Bros. Was on number 1 and ended the video there, but that wouldn't be fun now, wouldn't it? Smash Bros., in short, is my definitive fighting game. It was the first fighting game I ever played, and it's still my favorite fighting game series even today. First starting out as a prototype fighting game with 0 Nintendo characters that nobody cared about, becomes Nintendo's biggest hype-producing, money-making franchise, where many, if not all of your favorite video game characters go toe-to-toe in one big 8-player star-stunning slam fist. And you can get it only for Wii U and 3DS. Reggie, Satoru Iwata, and especially Masahiro Sakurai really gave it their all to create the perfect fighting game of 2014. Smash Bros. Gets its insane popularity from its original premise. Unlike any other fighting game that doesn't mimic Smash where two fighters must fight until one has its health bar completely drained, Smash Bros. Instead replaces the health bar and adds a percentage meter along with 4 players, where the objective is instead to beat the living hell out of your foes until they endure enough pain for you to smack them out of the arena and into oblivion, where they would be reduced to a cold hard trophy. And such a simple concept led to such immense popularity, and 4 games to boot. Each Smash Bros. Game brings something new to the table, and this game is no different. The improved gameplay is very pleasing, Classic Mode is more fun than ever, 8-player Smash can only be described as pure chaos, there are so many more worlds and items to go and use, online multiplayer while having a few slowdowns here and there is still incredibly fun, something that I will play when I don't have a person to play along with me. I also freaking love Smash Run. Being placed in this one giant arena and beating the hell out of everything that gets in your way as one powerful god of destruction is insanely addicting, and who can forget the insanely challenging yet insanely fun to fight Master Core. I love it all. May I also mention that the graphics in this game are amazing. Seriously, the backgrounds and the characters are all very colorful, vibrant, and very, very shiny. I can look at this game all day and be mesmerized by its vibrant colors. Then there is the most important thing about Smash, the characters. Dear Lord, Smash Bros. 4 has by far the largest, most diverse cast of characters ever in the franchise. There's so many characters from both Nintendo and other third-party companies. Many of my favorite characters reside within this game, these being Sonic the Hedgehog, Bowser, Bowser Jr., Robin, Pac-Man, Charizard, and my favorite Smash Bros. Character period, the aquatic, martial arts trained amphibious assassin, Greninja. This was a character that caught me completely by surprise. I was watching the new character trailer for Smash, and I thought that fire-spewing lizard Charizard's his own character. No big deal. But wait, is that Mewtwo? Greninja in Smash? Yes! And from that day forward, I knew this character was going to be mine. Greninja is just so much fun to play as. He's a sneaky amphibious motherfucker who can dart around the arena and send his foes packing with a series of punches and slashes. My favorite move being his Shadow Sneak attack, which is so much fun to pull off. He's just such a fun to play, quick-footed, versatile fighter. And hey, he's a ninja, and ninjas are pretty freaking cool. You can't go wrong with that. And the best part is that this isn't even the full roster. There's still lots of character DLC for Smash that you could purchase. Though it's a shame that Sakurai stated that DLC is now closed off. I could just think of all the possibilities of what characters could have been in the game. In the end, Super Smash Bros. Is the franchise that practically introduced me to the fighting game genre itself. And it's the fighting game that I play with friends and family the most often, especially with my younger brother. Oh, those good memories. And I really wanted to put another game on the number 1 spot instead of Smash in order to make the list less obvious, but honestly, Smash Bros. Is just that kind of game that I will always love and enjoy. Every time a new Super Smash Bros. Game is announced, it's an experience of pure happiness, from being hyped on what new characters get brought into the game to finally having the case of disc right on my hands and ready to beat the shit out of my friends. Smash Bros. Is my favorite fighting game, but hey, y'all probably know that by now, and by the time another Smash Bros. Game gets released for some other year, you bet it's gonna be number 1 for that year's countdown. So that was my top 10 games I played in 2014, and how was that year? Well, it was a very fun year, like any other. Was I introduced to any more new consoles? No. Was there anything that was groundbreakingly amazing? Nah. Was it a very special year? No, not really. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, it wasn't as amazing as 2013 or even 15. But that doesn't matter. It's still a damn fun year nonetheless. Every year has its own fair share of games to play and the experiences you get from these games, from the obstacles you overcome, to the accomplishments you achieve, to your overall enjoyment you get from playing these games. And by the time a year ends, all that's left is to recollect the bittersweet memories you had when playing those games. And after that comes a new year, with its own round of new games to play and newer games to come out. I'm the new guy in red, until next time.
Bye.